So this is my most memorable experience at clinical this semester. Again, I am at UNE. I've been working with the women's basketball team, currently with the men's lacrosse team, and then an occasional football player that trickles in. I will be with the football team with Brian again next semester, so building my patient rapport with those football players now. So my most memorable experience at clinical, there's everything goes on. I don't think there's anything that's more memorable than the other. However, there was one day that I was chosen to drive the golf cart, and I may or may not have hit something. So, long story though, and that's what I'm going to be telling. So it was one day I showed up to clinical. It was a very hot day. I was in shorts. I was sweating before I even got into the room. And as usual, like any AT room, it's hot. It's hot in there. As soon as I got in there, I was like, holy crap. I taped one pair of ankles, and I was just like, holy crap, just wiped my forehead. I had my own personal towel in my belt, like, just for my sweat. I was like, this sucks. I went over to the drawer, and I pulled out the thermometer that was just in the drawer, and I had it out for a little bit. 75.5 degrees in the room. So I went to Brian. I'm like, you mind if I prop open the back door and prop open the doors, get some air moving in here? Because it's brutal. He goes, oh, definitely do that. Anytime you want to do that. So I ended up doing that for the rest of the semester because it was always hot. But I did that. And it was just a really, really long day. I had to do everything. The seniors had class, and they didn't show up until 10 minutes before practice. So and Brian was in a meeting with, who knows? I don't even know. He was in a meeting the whole time in his office with the door closed. So it was basically my job to get the entire lax team ready to go for practice. So I got the cart set up to bring out to practice the waters, everything. Non-stop taping people's ankles because everybody on the lacrosse team is a prima donna, and they got to get both their ankles taped, or they got to get an Achilles tape, which Achilles tapes aren't very quick. They're not easy. They're frustrating. I hate them, but they work for people. Everybody has there's one kid who has a navicular sling, which is pretty easy, but it's just another thing I got to do. It's another thing that takes time. And it was all by myself. I had to do it. I had like a line of 5 people, so I'm busting, trying to get stuff done. There's a line over there. They're all watching me, and I still had a cast on. Like, it's just not going well. I'm taking my time. I don't want to mess it up. But I got them all done, and this was still, I wasn't just taping. Like, people would come in and go, oh, can I get my back cupped? Can I get my back scraped? Can I get my calves scraped before practice? As they normally would. And it just seemed like that day out of all days was the worst day because everybody wanted to get something done. And I was like, oh my God, I am just dead. I was sweating through my shirt, and I was getting embarrassed because I was like, I don't want to do that. And so 10 minutes before practice, seniors show up. Brian's like, all right, let's go out. Let's go out and watch. And then he goes, oh, wait, Cooper, can you go grab the golf cart? He gave me the keys. I went over, grabbed the golf cart, brought it out by the back door. We loaded up 4 of the giant, I think they're 15 or 20 gallon water jugs that have like the pressurized hoses in them for the football team because they had practice afterwards. So we were going to load those up and bring them down to the field rather than carry them. So I brought it out over there, loaded them up, and me and another student got in the golf cart, and Brian's like, all right, bring it over to the practice. And so I'm driving over there, and there's just lacrosse balls all over the field. And I'm like, I don't know whether I can run over them. I don't know if I should just avoid them, but it was just unavoidable. So I tried to, weave my way through one, and I clipped the end of one, and it started rolling away. And the head coach on the lacrosse team was like, all right, don't hit my balls. I'm like, well, then move them or make them path for me. You're out here walking. And he's just standing there watching me like struggle to weave through. I'm looking at the ground at my front right tires. I'm just like trying to make sure I'm not hitting any balls because the coach is just watching me, eyeing me down. Little dude, I know the roof of the golf cart. And I'm right next to the bench, and they have a roof too. The roof of the golf cart decided to go underneath the roof of the bench. So I basically, with the golf cart, picked up the bench and dragged it a couple feet before the person in the passenger seat's like, oh, you're hitting something. Oh, wow, thanks for letting me know now. But it was fine. Brian saw it. He kind of laughed and was like, how does that happen? And I explained to him that I was just annoyed that nobody got out and moved the balls or, like helped me out rather than they just started telling me what to do rather than helping me out. There was no damage or anything done. Like, golf cart's a tank. It wasn't like a head-on collision or something. It was just like it just kind of poked up underneath it, which isn't a big deal. But Brian ended up not even being mad at me. He actually blamed the person in the passenger seat, going, why didn't you get out of the car? Well, you could have moved things for him. Like, he's the driver. You're just sitting there doing nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's weird because I drive 18-wheelers in the summer, right, with 54-foot trailers, and that's my job. Like, I can back those things up to a dock on a dime, like, no problem. Yeah, I crashed the most easy thing to drive ever, and it's just like, oh my god. And I think I want to relate that to how stressed out and mentally drained I was from being at clinical. Like, it is that like 2-hour period was just unreal, just nonstop doing something, and I'm gonna have to get used to it if this is what I want to do with my life. So I'm sure it's only going to get worse with the football team on top of all the other teams as well. But I'm really excited, and that's my most memorable experience at clinical this semester.